let's welcome Ms. Nico Putri, Senior Business Advisor from the SME Centre SMCCI Private Limited, to share with us what type of support and incentives that are available out there to help businesses and individuals to get to know more about AI and also to think about implementation. So let's put our hand together and welcome Ms. Nico.
Very good afternoon to everyone. So first and foremost, let me just thank the key people first. I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks to the Honorary President, Mr. Amirali Abdelali, President, Mr. Ong Pak Shun, and also Mr. Chandra, Conference Chairperson as well, for inviting me for today at the National Safety Conference event. I don't want to be the barrier between you and lunch, so let's just keep it brisk, okay? So you're probably wondering, why is this lady standing here? Okay, in terms of the last 18 years, let me just share a bit about myself. I work from the bottom up, working with government agencies, chambers of commerce, and MNC as well. So my work with SME Centre, back days we call ourselves Spring. That's where we actually initial PIC, ICV, various grants. You might be recalled those days. As I progress, okay, and then as I progress, I work for the UK government agencies where we actually help UK companies to come on board to Singapore itself. So that is for the last, before COVID, basically during the time where Brexit happens. In the sense of that, being the late 20s, 30s, I wanted to be a manager. So managed to work with a public listed company, working directly with the chairman, the MD, and doing all those various subsidiaries. So again, during COVID itself, I came back to the center, SME Centre again, for the second time, at the height of COVID. So this is the part where majority of the business was affected, rental, and business was closed, right? So we are actually being at the ground, helping out many SMEs, giving a lot of supports. You can see some of the photos there. We are actually doing Heartland Go Digital projects. We initiate the projects, and even the grants was actually given at 90% at times. So that's very rare, because now actually the grants has been reduced, right? Or they has been actually at a normal time. Okay? And why am I interested in sharing this? The same chairperson that I work for poached me to be the MD for oil and gas in Singapore and also in Indonesia as well. And that is where I met Mr. Chandra, a good friend of mine, to help the companies itself, because that company has been actually NC, non-conformance, and scheduled for re-audit. So my mandate was actually to get it done, make sure that it's not being seated there for re-audit for the second time. Okay, that company in Indonesia itself, as you know, majority of you are familiar with this background. We are at least 30, 40 years back compared to the majority of the region. And the staff, even though they are young and they're dynamic, they have not yet to be exposed as to where we are now, right? And unfortunately and fortunately, I was able to actually lead them. We managed to have Chandra to do internal audit and to find out 200 more NCs. Wow, well done. So from 515 to 200. And I am not engineering background. Very good, right? So anyway, what was my secret then? I used ChatGPT. ChatGPT was my best friend. In that days when you are alone in Indonesia, and everyone is speaking Bahasa, and in the government side, they have a lot of laws, right, that you're not familiar, BPJS, all those things. ChatGPT was the only way survivor for me, basically. I even paid $20 just to get the maximum support, all right? So after which, of course, I'm back now with SME Centre for the third time. So Enterprise SG, if you may know, we are government agencies that champion SMEs. So we are here to help all SMEs, no matter which agnostic sectors you are from, oil and gas, marine, F&B, retail. So our mandate is also to help them as many SMEs we can. And over the last 10 years of meeting SMEs, I'm actually quite surprised that there are many who have actually never heard of us. So it's okay, we are here to actually share a bit more. So SME Centre is actually known that we have about 5 centres, the SMCCI, SICCI, SCCI, ASME and SMF, spread across Singapore island-wide. We have 80 of us here on the ground speaking to SMEs day by day, non-stop. So basically for us is to help you out, understand and also implement certain projects as well. And in terms of our roles, we have been doing this since 2006. Yep, it was those days where we call ourselves EDC. We are going through another rebranding. Not yet official, so can't share. All right? So, and then our roles and services is actually complementary. So we are not really a consultant where people charge, we are actually the one that represents ESG itself. So we share in terms of various grants. We do one-to-one diagnostics, business advisory. We even have our annual SME Centre conference that we held yearly. This is coming one is actually in July. GBU project is something interesting where we actually identify a clusters group of sectors, finding such similar challenges, and we work out our way together. So those is actually doing digital marketing GBU in 2003. In terms of raise of government grants that is being rolled out, Enterprise SG has the 4 main dominant one. This is actually the Productivity Solution Grant, Enterprise Development Grant, MRA, Market Readiness Assistance, and Energy Efficient Grant. I won't share everything in detail today because my employees only give me 15 minutes. So PSG is something that I'm going to highlight. Energy efficient is something that I'm going to share with you at the end of it. But just to pick up on Strategy X, just now was sharing about his solutions, right? Those can be actually implemented to EDG itself, Enterprise Development Grant. Yeah? Okay, so what is the details? But PSG is always pre-scope in terms of the solutions. They are always going through a various rigorous so-called internal checks. So PSG is always through a pre-scope vendor or pre-scope equipment. Okay, and EDG is actually open to all. We call it bespoke project. Bespoke project, which means certain of the project itself is open to consultants who are not even pre-approved vendor in the PSG. And the cost is usually more and is more complex, basically. Okay, automations is one of it, digitalization as well. We do have others like standard adoptions and core capabilities. The third one is MRA. MRA has been really, I have a lot of inquiries and application for MRA. Most companies is trying to apply because they want to expand to Malaysia, Indonesia, regional countries, especially as the ZAC zone is quite opening up the borders as well. This is quite hot, but I'm not going to cover today's topic. EEG. EEG, there is actually an expansion as well. What is that? They actually expand to 3 new sectors that I'm going to share. We do have the advanced tier and the basic tier. This is the only grant, not sure whether, yeah. This is the only grant that has a 70% support. Okay, yeah. Let me just go in details. If I want to know, how many of you are inside the construction sector here? 1, 2, 3, okay. And anyone in the marine side? Marine Boa, okay. 1, 2, good. And even in the data center? Less likely. Okay, Ken, I'll share with you more. Grant eligibility. So this is interesting because most of us, as long as you are less earning 100 million group revenue and you are less than 200 staff, also minimum 30% local shareholding, you are eligible to apply for those grants that I shared earlier. Only those that are charitable companies, foreign entities, they may not be able to qualify for this. However, there's other grants, which I'm not going to share for today. Okay, so what are PSG new initiative that's being rolled out? This is the new AI solutions that's being rolled out just this year only. Chatbots for customers engagement, Gen AI for marketing and sales content generations. This is actually also useful. We also have rolled out the Microsoft Copilot for SMEs to embark. We have done this for the last 6 months. It's already been extended. We also have Gemini, actually. So what is Microsoft Copilot? It is an AI embedded with your Microsoft 365. So if your company is already using Microsoft 365, that is the PowerPoint, Excel, Word doc, then you just need this AI app inside. So yes, this is still chargeable, right? So the government actually gave you about 50% subsidized fee net. You don't have to apply through the business grant portal. You just have to contact to the 6 vendors. At the back of my head is, I think, Axiom is one of the approved vendor. So this allows at least companies to have AI in part of your work doc, basically. So this is actually useful if you have never tried before, because if, let's say, you're trying to do a Word doc and then create a proposal performance review, you can actually ask the ChatGPT, I'm a user of ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, to do it for you. Yeah? All right, and this is a closed door project that we actually have. We call it a Partners for Business Growth. Companies who are actually esteemed to grow their business, we actually identified them through various parameters. One of it is above 1 million to 10 million. Here, you have to earn about CAGR about 5% year on year for the last 3 years, and showing the desire to grow the business itself. Okay? And what is this basically? Companies can actually embark to a dedicated business development advisor. So this advisor will come up to you and propose a 3-year strategic planning. They will also come up with a 2 capabilities project, and there's no charge for the whole 12 months. Technically, you got a free staff lah. All right, dedicated for you and specialized for your own business. But this has to be approved under ESG as well. Okay, I actually use ChatGPT to generate this AMR. All right, so autonomous mobile robot is something that is being deployed as a pre-approved equipment. So companies who are in those sectors, especially precision engineering, advanced manufacturing, or even just general engineering services, I do see that some companies, they didn't really take up much lately, maybe because they are not aware of it. So you can actually get pre-approved equipment like those. Just get a quotation in the local vendors that provide such equipment. Before you purchase, do apply the grant first. So that's usually the normal procedure. Another one, in terms of increasing your productivity, automations, etc., is the robots or robotic arm. Okay. Before COVID, it was quite expensive, right? As if some of you are trying to venture out. Now, it is also listed as part of the pre-approved vendor equipment itself. You can actually engage companies that provide such automations, robotic arms, under the pre-approved list. So basically, as long as the mandatory equipment specs is given there, minimum 2 axis and less than 37, this is actually already pre-approved. All right, so companies can utilize those. Why? Because their software are able to integrate with your current existing, the company's usage. Okay. All right, and my favorite of all, okay, this is the energy efficient grant that I'll be sharing. The 3 new sectors. Companies love to know what are the new equipments to purchase for your, for your business itself. One of it is the construction sector. So I know some of you here are from the construction sector. You can take photo, this is fine. So as long as the SSIC code is within those 41 to 43, you can actually purchase. So what are the equipments that's interestingly listed here? While stock lasts, So battery energy storage system, electric crawler crane, electric excavator, and I know electric wheel loader, especially the hydraulic one, hydraulic excavator. So those days when I was with Singapore Power, hydraulic excavator was very rare, 2014, yeah. So this is now being pre-approved equipment, which means you can actually follow the models, inquire with your various vendors, and try to apply it also. Data centers, if you're one of the few, We allow basically companies from all data centers. Enterprise servers is one of it because companies usually, I want to buy server but cannot approve under EDG. Yeah. So basically the data center storage and the enterprise servers is now allowed for companies to actually utilize and purchase. Another one that I wanted to share is the maritime sector. Companies under the hovercraft vessels that's approved by MPA, if you have faulty air cons, now can purchase, basically. That's where for those hovercraft air cons, sometimes when you're out the sea, got faulty equipments, yep, this is a good purchase. Don't go to Daikin or Harvey Norman. I don't think they can actually do that for hovercraft equipments, right? In terms of port, electric forklift is useful also, right? Because now we actually rely on those automations to ease our workloads. Yes, the rest is basically standardized, and manufacturing sectors, if you think you need a new boiler system or motors or even compressed air systems, it is supportable now. Yeah? And yep, so the key takeaways, if you can't remember much, is always to me is just to apply the grant first because there's no retrospective in terms of the grant applications. Usually you have to go through the business grant portal and then submit your quotation there. Submissions of all documents have to be updated. I do see companies sometimes, last 3 years financials not updated, etc. That give the frustrations and delays basically. Another one is basically compare quotes. So to me, there's too many of those vendors out there. Sometimes just do your due diligence to get at least 3 quotes. It's just a best practice kind of approach. Of course, sometimes at certain companies, there's only 1 or 2 supplier. So we do understand that in a way. That's that. Yeah, and if you like, you can connect me in social media, LinkedIn, and our SME Centres platform. Feel free to connect with us as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening and being the barrier for the lunch. So I try to keep it fast. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Nicole. Do you like to take any questions? We are about to break for lunch, but I thought since we have Miss Nicole on stage, and then you guys heard from Brad Queen about all the possibilities. Now you also heard from Miss Nicole. You can actually get funding and money for it. So anybody in the room, SME, running your own little business, which is very important, the backbone of the Singapore economy? Anybody? Or nobody's going to raise hands because they think they will get appointed to ask the questions. But any questions? Okay, we have Fong. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. So today's conference is also about sustainability. Just now you mentioned about SMB for local companies. How about, do you also mention something about foreign companies too? You have a separate scheme, right?
Yes. So there's many schemes available from various agencies as well.
Okay.
So today mandate is just to share about Enterprise SG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know of a company that has this requirement of cooling tower to cool the aircon system of the factory. So that one is related very much to sustainability. So they can also try to apply for the grant.
You're referring to them as a foreign entity?
Yes.
Okay, foreign entity is not actually allowed to apply for this grant. Yeah, but the one that I'm sharing off topic is basically other grants that is being supported. We have a lot, right? So OMIP, CCP, we have also like others. What's that? Which the government, the ministry. Wait, it's at the back of my head. Yeah, I will share with you more.
Okay. Thank you.
Suddenly forget.
No worries, you will be with us for the whole day. So definitely you will get the chance to know what is that particular grant.
Yes.
All right, last chance for questions before we break for lunch.
CTC, sorry. Slowly trying to recall.
All right, we got that before lunch. That's wonderful. You guys must be thinking, oh no, there's going to be something between lunch. All right, questions. I see somebody raise his hand. Is that for question or? No, okay. All right, okay. I'm not going to make things difficult for everybody. Let's put our hands together and thanks Miss Nicole.